Hello everybody, welcome back to James's Classic Movie. Today we got a big one for you. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Sherlock Holmes. Well, you knew what was coming. You knew after I did Poirot that Sherlock was going to show up sooner or later. Well, let's take a quick gander here. Let's get my little bit of the Sherlock Holmes collection here so you can basically get what's going on. Okay, let's get into Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was born 22nd of May of 1859 and passed away the 7th of July in 1930. He was a British writer and a physician, a doctor. He was educated at the University of Edinburgh. That's in Scotland, in case for those of you who do not know. Sherlock was created in 1887 for a study, for a book called The Study in Scarlet, which was the first book in a series of 4, which produced some 56 short stories of the iconic character Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. The Sherlock Holmes stories are milestones in the field of crime fiction considered by a lot of people. In 1939 now, Sherlock Holmes miniseries starring Basil Rathbone along with Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce, and Dennis Hoy as Lestrade, or Lestrade, however you choose to pronounce it. This produced 14 episodes, which were considered movies, but they were fabulous in their making. This series lasted from 1939 to 1946. Take a look.
When a puzzling murder takes place, only one man can solve the mystery.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Purely elementary.
And when super sleuth Sherlock Holmes is on the case, no criminal is safe.
I've decided to accept your case, Miss Brandon. I shall help you all I can.
No job is too big.
This is no childish prank, Miss Brandon, but a cryptic warning of avenging death.
No clue too small.
You think these are the footprints of a murderer?
It's possible.
No criminal too clever for the amazing Sherlock Holmes.
You're the one man in England clever enough to defeat me.
Playhouse Video presents The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Just one episode in a chilling series of murder and mayhem.
Somewhere in London at this very moment, something tremendous is happening.
Don't miss the madness as Holmes and Watson solve one mystery after the next.
Ready when you are.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, only from Playhouse Video.
Elementary, my dear Holmes. Elementary.
Now, in 1954, Sherlock Holmes would come back to the stage, or not the stage, but the silver screen again, this time portrayed by Ronald Howard. This would produce some 39 episodes in this one, Ronald Howard, and Howard Marion Crawford as Dr. Watson, Archie Duncan as Inspector Lestrade, and Richard Lark as Sergeant Wilkins. A very good production of Sherlock Holmes. I hope that you'll enjoy watching this. Of course, all Sherlock Holmes pictures are fantastic. Now, in 1975, Sherlock Holmes would return to the screen. This time, played by Gene Wilder, Marty Feldman, and Madeline Kahn in a musical called The Sherlock. Take a look at this here. This is how they called it. They titled it Sherlock Holmes' younger, smarter brother, whatever you want to get into it, the smarter brother. And iconic enough, he was supposedly named Secret. If you remember Sherlock Holmes in the Empty House episode with Jeremy Brett, and Jeremy Brett was letting Dr. Watson know that if he was reading the exploits of Sickersall, his alter ego or alias that he was using overseas, he would know of his friend. So Sickersall is now young Sherlock Holmes, Gene Wilder's Sherlock Holmes portrayal here. Calls himself Sherlock instead of Sherlock. Take a look at this.
I've ever met who has a photographic sense of hearing.
My word.
Are you Mr. S. for Sigerson Holmes?
Perhaps.
Do you have a brother whose first name is Sherlock?
I do not.
You do have a brother?
I do.
Might I inquire as to his first name?
Sheer luck.
I see. Well, your brother Sherlock sent me round with an urgent request and this £5 note. Are you at all interested?
You can tell my brother to take his £5 note and
may I say that I've been a great admirer of yours for many years, especially your handling of the case of the 3 testicles.
You've studied the 3 testicles?
Orville Stanley Sacker, Sergeant, Records Bureau, Scotland Yard. A pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
Come in, Orville. I was just making tea. Hop in that bicycle seat, would you? I won't be a minute. Come on, we haven't got all night. All right, stop pedaling. Keep a steady pace. Do you think you could pump a little faster?
Certainly.
Hey, lock!
I'm sorry. I wonder if I could
Pedal, pedal! For God's sake, man! Don't just stop in the middle like that. What do you think this is, a toy shop? Sucker.
Now, there are many movies out there about Sherlock Holmes. Matter of fact, Jeremy Brett put out a movie playing the iconic detective Sherlock Holmes and the Hound of the Baskervilles, which was, like I say, was many Sherlock Holmes pictures. But Jeremy would return in the iconic role of Sherlock Holmes in the TV series The Return of Sherlock Holmes, airing in 1984 to 1994, produced 41 episodes. And I'm telling you now, it has a host of special features on this right here. Well, let me get over here. Right here. All these special features are waiting for you. You can pick this up on Amazon along with all these other pictures too. Starring Jeremy Brent as the iconic detective, and David Burke would play Dr. Watson for a few episodes, and then was replaced by Edward Hardwick. And Collis Jevons played Inspector Lestrade, or Lestrade, again, however you pronounce it. This series would go on to earn an Edgar Award for Best Detective Series on TV, and it rightfully earned it. Take a look at this.
You mentioned your name just now as if I should recognize it, but I can assure you, beyond the obvious facts, that you are a bachelor, a solicitor, and a Freemason, and an asthmatic. I know nothing about you whatever.
Your untidy clothes, sheaf of legal papers, watch chain, and your somewhat irregular breathing.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. It is my business to know what other people don't know.
About a year later, after the airing of The Return of Sherlock Holmes, came out a movie called Young Sherlock Holmes in 1985, starring Nicholas Rowe, Alan Cox, and Roger Aston Griffiths as Lestrade. Take a look.
Here we are, Mr. Bobster.
Your favorite.
And of course, in Great Britain, they decided to revitalize Sherlock Holmes with a TV series called Sherlock, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Take a look at this.
You're a soldier. It's going to take you a while to adjust to civilian life.
I don't know. Get a flat chair or something?
Come on. Who'd want me for a flatmate?
Well, you're the second best. Second best.
We've only just met, and we're going to go look at a flat.
Problem?
I'm supposed to be helping you pay the rent. Well, this is more fun. Writing a blog about everything that happens to you will honestly help you.
Nothing happens to me.
One move for one survivor.
He wants to be distracted.
You're gonna die.
That's what people do!
Now in 2009, over here in America, we decided to get on board with our version of Sherlock Holmes. And we came out in 2009 starring Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law, and Eddie Marston as Lestrade and Sherlock Holmes. Of course, when people start getting murdered and unexplained murders, Scotland Yard calls on our famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Take a look at this.
I have a request. Someone I want to see. Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes, you must widen your gaze. You underestimate the gravity of coming events. Tomorrow, at midday, the world as you know it will end.
Well, there isn't any time to waste then, is there?
The witness stated that he saw Lord Blackwood rise from the grave.
I want you to find him and stop him.
That'll take every ounce of my not inconsiderable experience.
This may be a hobby to you, Mr. Holmes, but I do it for a living.
It does make a considerable difference to me, having someone with me on whom I can thoroughly rely.
Oh, it's nice to see you, Watson.
You've never complained about my methods before?
I never complain. When do I complain about you practicing the violin at 3 in the morning? Or your mess? Your general lack of hygiene or the fact that you steal my clothes?
Be a lady?
Holmes, does your depravity know no bounds?
No. What have you done?
Madam, I need you to remain calm. And trust me, I'm a professional. But beneath this pillow lies the key to my release.
Okay, now in 2010, Sherlock Holmes hit the screen again. This time, weirdly, to be precise with it. Sherlock Holmes is a picture starring Gareth David Lloyd as Watson, Ben Snyder as Holmes, Dominic Keating as, get this, the estranged brother of Mycroft and Sherlock Holmes. And of course, William Hugh plays Lestrade, and it's narrated by David Shackleton. Why a Holmes picture needs to be narrated is beyond me. But, you know, this picture starts off in the year 1940 during the Berlin Blitz. And old Watson, who's on the verge of being no more, passing away, is telling, I suppose, the daughter of Mrs. Hudson, now a young girl by the name of Lucy Hudson, who's the nurse attending, about the story of Sherlock Holmes. And our stories takes off in 1882 when the ship is attacked and destroyed by a giant octopus. And apparently now the story wants us to believe that one man can control the minds of monsters and unbelievable characters in the film. We'll let you decide and let you watch this.
I kept this story out of the journals in deference to his wishes. He was a man of many talents. We shall record the chronicle of his greatest accomplishment.
Dr. Watson, who is he?
He is Sherlock Holmes.
Come, Watson. Onwards and upwards. So you still don't believe in monsters?
The only monsters I believe in look very much like you or I.
Starting to believe?
I believe we should run!
I am motivated by something powerful. Revenge. The great Sherlock Holmes.
Now, in 2011, Sherlock Holmes 2 would come out, The Game of Shadows. Again, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. And this time, Jared Harris would play Professor James Moriarty, and Stephen Fry as Sherlock Holmes' brother, Mycroft. And, of course, when things start getting weird, it doesn't take Holmes long to figure out that Moriarty's behind it. Jude Law gets married in this one, and if it wasn't such a good movie, I would say it was a comedy. But The first part, anyway. Especially when he throws Jude Law's wife from the train and Brother Mike off right out in a rowboat in the water to catch her. Well, that was amazing. But look at this.
Two gentlemen find themselves at cross purposes. When two objects collide, there is always damage. Now, are you sure you want to play this game?
I'm afraid you'd lose.
Oh, how I've missed you, Holmes.
Have you? I barely noticed your absence. Then again, I'm knee-deep in the single most important case of my career.
Like a good Sherlock Holmes tale, you are wondering where it's all going to wind up, and you're pleasantly surprised when you find out.
I see your web of conspiracy has expanded.
First and foremost, this time we have Noomi Rapace, who's a gypsy fortune teller.
Good evening.
She is the linchpin of unraveling this very complex case.
Why are we playing this game?
Your next client is here to kill you.
It picks up where it left off.
His dear fellow Watson has moved on.
I'm getting married. What are we up against here?
The most formidable criminal mind in Europe.
Professor James Moriarty.
What? I agree, it's not my best disguise.
I wanted to give more of what we gave you last time, but at the same time give you something that you hadn't seen.
You wanted it to be more exciting.
No pressure.
More thrilling than the first.
Make it count!
I'm on my honeymoon!
It's really got a good sense of fun.
Is there something different about you?
It's got a good heart to it. It's probably the closest Conan Doyle Holmes versus Moriarty story that's been depicted yet.
Just follow my lead.
Oh, Sherlock, don't be late for dinner.
All right, now there is a Sherlock Holmes 3 in the making. We have no information about it. All we know that it's in the works. We don't know when it's going to be released. It's as of December 30th of 2022. I have no further information as of yet, but when I get it, I'll most definitely let you know. Until next time, I'm James with James's Classic Movies. I hope you enjoyed my Sherlock Holmes collection, and that you'll consider adding these films and TV series to your collection. And until next time, I wish you a very happy New Year, and we will see you on January the 2nd for more James's Classic Movies. Have a nice day.